presentations, the purpose of this mindset presentation is, and I always say this every single week just to explain why I do this and why I take the time to prepare this, is maybe if I say one or two key things that stick with you or really click with you, which will then inshallah allow you to do the action, which is basically project 1 and project 2, and then inshallah you'll then get the result that you desire. Everyone here on this call is in phase 2, attempting to get their first client. So it's very normal to be confused, uncertain. This is something completely new for you. So inshallah, do not worry at all. Second point is, for now on this call, just focus on mindset. Let's take it one step at a time. For right now, let's focus on your mindset. We don't really do Q&A on this call. We're more focused on just talking about our mindset for the next coming week. If you do have any questions, do let me know on WhatsApp. And if you want a one-on-one in phase 2, it's primarily Samira doing one-on-ones if, of course, you really need it. Intentions for this program and why I'm doing this is something to keep me accountable and just to kind of put it out there over and over again. So inshallah, this does become a reality. Number 1 is helping and supporting 1 million orphans in third world countries. And number 2 is making this program the best place for a Muslim to start a halal business. Today's topic is tying the camel, then rely on Allah. And number 2, why not just jump straight onto automation? Let's get into it. Now, this authentic hadith truly has changed my life. You know, I was of the mindset that, you know, if you try just a bit, if you try, you know, even the slightest, you're able to expect something to happen. But you know, life really has shown that it really isn't like that. You truly have to go through that you know, pattern that life keeps on showing you, that whenever you make the intention to do something new or do something, there's always disruption, as in it's always difficult, it's always confusing, it's always very challenging at the beginning. So I've really benefited from keeping this authentic hadith in mind, that tie the camel, then rely on Allah, which basically just means that it's our responsibility to do the work, gain the knowledge, gain the experience, become the person, then expect a successful business from Allah. Now, we've already established in the program that income is a byproduct of action. Action in this program is project 1 and project 2 that's been given to you in phase 2. Now, if the action isn't done, then we cannot possibly expect the income. It's very, very simple. Like, life is just simply a case of cause and effect. I'm working with this performance coach at the moment, and you know, I'll be transparent with you. I do struggle a lot with gut health, and it's not that I eat wrongly or I eat bad things. It's just very, very sensitive. I have you know, a gut health issue, which then impacts my mental health, which then impacts my energy, which then of course then takes a toll on the business as well. Not a lot, but it's just something I'm not you know, wanting to keep for longer than I already have. So anyway, I'm working with this performance coach, and he was just making things very simple for me. He was saying that, look, you want to grow in business, it's a simple case of cause and effect. You do the actions that make you more money, and then you make more money. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe I can use the same principle of how he was teaching me and how he was explaining things to me for you guys as well. So let's do this in the negative, as in, don't do the 200 outbounds weekly, then don't get the 15-minute demo calls, then don't get clients, then you don't make money. Do the 200 outbounds, get the 15-minute demo calls booked, get the clients, and then get the money. It's very, very simple. Like, you know, if you really break things down simply, it really drives the point home. So you're probably wondering, okay, cool, awesome, I get that, but how do I get myself to do consistently the outbounds or the action? One thing or another is holding me back. You know, after coaching a lot of people, one of the key reasons I've noticed that, you know, people aren't actually able to take the action or just don't take the action is because of self-sabotage. You subconsciously do self-sabotage. One thing or another, you cause unnecessary chaos. Oh, I have to do this. I have to get this done before I do it. I have to do the housework. I'm not saying that you don't have to do the housework or the other things, but it's just things like, you know, if you ask yourself, if I really want to make something happen, you find a way. You really do find a way. If something is important enough for you, you really do find a way. But self-sabotage due to fear, God, what's going to happen once I get my first client? What's going to happen once, I get a client, and what are they going to say? What if they ask me this question? That subconscious fear holds you back from doing the potential action steps that will get you to that client. And one of the most interesting things is not feeling like you deserve it, not feeling like you're worthy of actually owning a business, not feeling like you're the type of person that can own a business. You have made this intention to start a business, but some people really do that, have that thing in the back of their head that, do I know how to run a business? Am I that person that can run a business? These are one of the key things that really hold you back from scaling business. This is that self-sabotage that you do subconsciously. 90% of the actions that we're doing daily are subconscious. Think about it, like when you're driving, you're not thinking to yourself like, okay, I'm going to move the steering wheel 35 degrees to the left. I'm going to tilt it to the left, and then I'm going to press the accelerator this much, and then hold the brake, and then do this to the gear. You just give it the intention. Your subconscious mind is doing the action steps. So if you think about it that way, if you are giving yourself the intention to do something, but your subconscious is not there fully, you're going to do one thing or another to stop yourself. And then the second point is progress seems painful. I've mentioned this many, many times, that humans do anything for one reason, and one reason only, is to get away from pain, that undesirable state, to get to a more desirable state or pleasure. That's why we do anything. Now, right now, staying where you are, again, subconsciously seems like pleasure, comfort. And then owning that business or getting those clients seems painful, like that pain. So realistically, you wouldn't want to go towards pain. But a good way to get through this is to invert that. Meaning, tell yourself, what would happen if I don't get those clients? List out the pains. So then that not getting a client is then pain. So then that moves you towards actually doing the action steps. Third point is the next day delivery mindset. The next day shipping, the next day, whatever I want, I'll get it by tomorrow or this evening. It really has impacted us. Like, if you actually think about it, it really truly has impacted us. That whatever we want, we can literally get it the next day. But life, business generally, and I'm sure we're all grown adults here, we all know that things they don't just happen all of a sudden. You have to become the person that can get those things. My biggest key for success, and forget about anything else you've heard about mindset, the biggest key for success is being very, very clear on what exactly you want out of this business, what sort of life you want. A lot of my mentors and a lot of the successful people that I've met, they always talk about this thing where every single morning or anytime during the day, they just sit down or go for a walk and just think about the person that they want to become or the life that they want to have. Let's say, for example, I'm going to put you on the spot, Nasif. Like, maybe your dream is to just one day have that flexibility. You wake up, and if you don't want to work, you just tell your team members and say, hey, I'm not going to be taking any calls, or I'm not going to be working, and you want to go play golf or spend time with your family. Just really painting a very, very clear picture of what a day-to-day life would look like. What that then looks like is then you take that precise action in making that a reality. So it's the power of anticipation. Let's say, for example, Nasif, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Let's say you want that Lambo, right? And then you've been thinking about that Lambo, and tomorrow that Lambo is actually coming. That anticipation, the energy that you're getting, that is the energy that you want towards the things that you want. Let's say, for example, you've dreamt of that perfect, ideal life, owning a business and what it's going to look like, etc. That is the anticipation. That is the energy that you want in order for you to take the precise action. So it all starts as a mental image in your head, that mental image of your perfect life. Is that making sense? I'm curious, did this point that I just mentioned, did it make sense? Please drop a 1 in the chat, or 2 if it didn't, so I can repeat it, because it is so important. Cool. I see the ones coming in. Not from everyone, though. Okay. So yeah, what I do every Sunday is I've noticed in my life that whenever I've really achieved something that I really wanted, in my head, I'm kind of giving a, and this sounds cringy, I'm kind of giving an interview explaining what I have basically in the future. So basically telling someone that I have the best program, or I have already helped 1 million orphans. So what it does is, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is and what is basically in your head. So as long as you have that feeling that you've already achieved it, and this is going more towards that wishy-washy sort of stuff, but this is very, very practical. Like if you just create that perfectly clear mental image on what exact sort of life that you want, that is when that self-sabotage stops, and you do exactly what you need to do to get there, because you're very, very clear on what exactly you want. Everything starts as a mental image. The house that you live in started as a mental image, which then became a blueprint for construction. So literally the furniture that you see started as a mental image, which then became a blueprint to actually then make it into what it is right now. Now, this is the second topic. Why can't we just skip phase 2 and jump straight onto automation? Second concept, which has really, really helped me with becoming the man that I am right now, is do, become, and then have. So you do something, you do the outbounds, then you bump your head against inability of doing those outbounds. God, I'm nervous. How do I do these outbounds? I'm not able to speak to people. I don't have that experience. You bump your head against inability. Then you ask me a question, and then you overcome that inability. Then you're able to do it. So then you become that person. For example, let me give you a very, very simple example of a baby. A baby takes their first steps, stands up, takes that one or two first steps, falls down, bumps its head against inability, learns how to do it, then it becomes the person that can walk. So you do first. That's why I say, let's get it done. Stop overthinking. Let's do it. Bump your head against inability. Ask me the question, learn, then you become the person that can. And then you have it. Very, very interesting stuff. Then coming back to that question again, why can't we just skip onto the automation? Because with any offer meaning, the I help statement or whatever business it is, there's four main ways of actually getting clients, or basically, bringing that attention onto you so you can get more customers, which is number one, personal network / referral. Massive. I'm going to ask you this question. In this program, we're talking about personal network and referrals. Where do we apply this? In phase 2, where do we apply personal network and referrals? In order for us to...
Project 1.
Exactly. And then the second method is outreach. Where do we apply this?
Both Project 1 and Project 2.
That is it. And then ads, where do we apply this?
This is Project 3 or Phase 3. You call it.
Phase 3. That is it. Phase 3. Once we have our first 1K client, then we graduate on to the next step. And then content, I don't recommend you guys doing content. Content is basically just making YouTube videos or whatever the case is, really trying to be omnipresent on all social medias to then, bring attention onto yourself and then all that stuff. But for that, you have to become an influencer. You have to do the flashy stuff and buying the Lambos and the fancy holidays and all that stuff. That's just, you guys realize, like, whenever you see someone having that Lambo or showing that, hey, I'm on this holiday, etc., it's literally just a way of getting more eyeballs through the top of funnel. And I'm going too much into detail unnecessarily. But basically, top of funnel is where people enter in just knowing about you. Their attention starts to go towards you. The middle of funnel is the stuff that you have to warm them up. Warm them up meaning how they get to know and understand what you do. So that could be done through, the offer statement video that I've told you guys to make, and then you making that short Loom video to make them aware. People, for you guys right now in phase 2, top of funnel is the outbounds that you're doing. So that's how people get to know you. And then you give them the offer statement video, which they then get to know you. And then maybe you have that first call with them, they get to know you a bit more. And then at the end, which is the bottom of funnel, is that last 15-minute demo call where then become a client and then pay you. So in this example, content would be they do the Lambo stuff, so you pay attention to them, and then basically whatever the case is, then you go through the middle of funnel and then you become their client. But for this program, and this is exactly what I've done, is now I started with outreach, actually personal network, then outreach, and then after that I have run ads since then. I've never looked back. But let's just give you an example. Let's just imagine a scenario where we automate from the start. Okay, let's automate. We're gonna skip phase two. So for automation we need about 1K. So we start running ads for you. We start getting that attention for you. We start booking those calls for you. Let's say we've spent $500 so far. You booked about 3 calls. You have no experience on how to do those 15-minute demo calls. Cool. We wasted 500 in just learning on how to do that. The 15-minute structure, 15-minute call structure. We've literally just wasted 500 USD just to learn that lesson, which we could have just learned by getting the outbounds done, booking those calls through that. So we then get that 1K client and then put that into ads. Here's how I did it. I unfortunately wasn't as clever as you guys, where I got someone who's actually, aware of what they're doing and knows about this space. I did outbounds. I literally did. I can't remember how many outbounds I did. I think I did more than 300 a day. Or probably even more, around 400, because that was all I was doing. I had no job, and I was just doing delivery driving on the side, and this was all I was putting focus on. But I was just doing basically double the input. So I booked 55 calls of those 15-minute demo calls. I got one $200 close, one after 55 of those 15-minute consultations, because I didn't have a structure that I was following, and I didn't have a proper offer, which I've given to you guys in week 2. The I help statement. I didn't have that. And that is one of the most foundational things that you can do in this business. And then number 2, then once I got that first close, and the first close is one of the most profound things. If you use that momentum well, then the rest of the closes got so much easier. So then I got better at making offers. I made an offer. I used Project 2. I did the outbounds that I told you about. I also used a LinkedIn funnel. LinkedIn funnel was a very good one for me. Use that, and then I got 5K cash, and then I put that into ads. I remember buying this course, and it was just like kind of one of those things where I need this to work. This was my last 1.5K that I had saved up, and I was like, okay, God, if this is it, then I actually don't know what I'm gonna do. So I did that, and alhamdulillah, that 1.5K I put in the course. I had an additional ad spend left for that. Then I put that into ads, but because I had that experience of doing 55 calls, and then also doing the outbounds to get that 5K cash. Then when I ran ads, I got an instant 3x ROAS, meaning I got a 300% return, which meant I kept on growing, putting that money back into ads. And then, you guys have seen in one of the videos the trajectory of how I went from 5K to 60K plus. But remember, guys, all roads lead to 30 booked 15-minute consultations, and income is a byproduct of action, not time, not the duration of this program, but the amount of times that you've actually successfully done the 200 outbounds and how many consultations you have booked. That is literally all that matters in this program, guys. That is the end for this presentation. Do give me suggestions on what you guys would like to see these presentations on. I'm open for suggestions. I just try and make these in a way where it would give you the relevant knowledge, give you the relevant motivation for the upcoming week. So I'm asking you for feedback. Give me feedback on WhatsApp. Tell me what exactly you want to see, and let me know on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being this is exactly what I needed for the coming week, and 1 being this was terrible. It didn't help me at all. That just helps me understand. But for now, so far, you guys always give me 9s or 10s. So I'm like, okay, am I a world-class speaker or something? I don't think I am, but who knows? I might actually be. So be honest, just to actually give me feedback, and that way I can learn and improve and make these presentations better for you every single week. But yeah, guys, we'll end it over here. Any questions, do let me know. And if you want a one-on-one at this stage, let's get it done with Samira. She's very helpful. She's done it, so she'll be able to help you out with what exactly you need to do next. But I will see all of you next week. Assalamu alaikum.